welcome to another Blender tutorial. In this one I'm going to show you how you can create realistic wall destruction effects using only built-in add-ons in Blender. We're gonna learn how to create 4 different materials including realistic wood that splinters when it breaks apart. We're going to build a wall, add some particles for the fine details, then simulate our own smoke elements, shade everything and render out a fantastic render. Let's not waste any time and dive straight into the video. Okay, so let's start with opening up a new Blender scene, then adding in a cube, tabbing into edit mode and changing it to the scale of a brick. Then we want to hit Ctrl B to bevel the edges. Then we can go back into object mode and add an array modifier. This will allow us to stack the bricks automatically. Change the factor X until they barely touch each other, then increase your count until you have your desired length of the wall. Then add in another one and change the factor Z this time until they barely touch each other, then multiply it by 2 and increase the number. Then duplicate the entire object, move it up until it fits precisely, then move it to the side. Select them both, then hit Ctrl A and apply visual geometry to mesh. This will apply the modifier. Then go into edit mode, select the bricks that stick out, hit G and move them until they're flush with the other bricks. Do this on both sides. Hit Ctrl J to join the objects into one, then add in an armature to reference the scale of the scene. Hit S to scale the wall until it fits your desired scale. Then go into edit mode, select everything, hit P and then select by loose parts. This will separate all your bricks into individual objects. Okay, so let's give these guys some physics properties. Select everything, then hit object, rigid body and add active. Then add in a ground plane and give it a passive rigid body. As you can see, the bricks fall to the ground and collide with each other, but this isn't really our desired effect. We want to make sure that the origin of each object lines up with the actual center of the mass of the object. To do this, select everything, hit Object, Set Origin. You can select either surface or volume here, it doesn't really matter. As you can see, the origin of each brick is correctly at the center, which is great. Let's keep moving. When the projectile hits the wall, we don't want the entire wall to just collapse on itself. So we're going to select some of the bricks around the edges of the wall and change them from dynamic to animated. Every time we change a physics property and want it to copy to all of our selected objects, just right click that property and select copy to active. This will copy the settings to all of the selected objects. Alright, so now we have something that looks good, but the explosion happens immediately, all by itself. To fix this, we want to select everything and then apply scale. If we were to simulate right now, the pieces would just fly apart without sticking together at all. But we want to add constraints between them, that we keep them together. Select all of our rigid body objects, then hit Object, Rigid Body and Connect. When it's done calculating, change the connection pattern from selected to active to chain by distance. This will connect the bricks to their neighboring bricks. But we want to change some of these properties. Select all of the constraints, then go into one of them, head to the Physics tab and deselect Disable Collision. Then we want to check Breakable and change the threshold to something pretty low. As usual, we want to go through all of these settings, right click and select Copy to Selected to copy the settings across all of the constraints. Now everything sticks together nicely, so we can begin breaking it apart. For now, we're just adding in a sphere and giving it a passive rigid body. Just play around with different sizes of the collision object and different settings for the constraints until you get something that you like. This is optional, but I decided to displace the sphere to give it some more randomness in the explosion. When you're happy with your simulation, you can select all of the objects, then go to Object, Rigid Body and Bake to Keyframes. This will make it so that the computer doesn't have to actually calculate the trajectory of these pieces over and over again when we add more layers to it. So it will cut down on the processing speed and allow us to add more details without slowing the scene down too much. Let's create a layer of plaster. This time we're gonna do the exact same process, but instead of building the pieces like we did with the brick wall, we're going to use a built-in add-on in Blender that is called Cell Fracture to fracture the object into multiple pieces. First, select the object and add a particle system. This particle system is gonna control how the object is shattered, so keep the number pretty high. Then you wanna change the source to emit from volume and distribution to random. Then set the endpoint to frame 1. As you can see, this creates a lot of particles across the entire volume of the mesh. Then we need to enable the Cell Fracture add-on. So go to Edit, Preferences, Add-ons and search for Cell Fracture. You will find it right here. Make sure this one is enabled, then you can save your preferences. Now you can hit Object, Quick Effects, Cell Fracture. Select Own Particles and change the source limit to 0. When it's done, you'll see that your object has been shattered into multiple small pieces. Then we want to select this entire layer and copy it, because we want to use it for the plywood later, so we don't need to do the whole fracture thing one more time. Before we do anything else, let's organize the scene a bit. Create collections for all of your layers, so that will be bricks, plaster, wood and plywood. Then you want to select all of your objects that go into the collection and then hit M to move and then select your collection. To then select the entire layer, just right click on the collection in the scene manager and then select objects. Then we just kind of copy the steps from the bricks and give them rigid body properties, connect them and simulate. But just keep in mind that you have to give the bricks rigid bodies again, but this time, instead of them being dynamic, we're gonna have them animated. Because remember, we already baked the simulation for these ones. This is looking really good, so we'll just bake everything to keyframes and then we'll move on to the wood. Add in a cube and copy the steps we did with the plaster. So add a particle system, change source to volume random, but keep the number lower this time. Go to Object, Quick Effects, Cell Fracture, hit Own Particles and set the source limit to 0. Then Fracture. Select all the pieces and scale them up on the Z axis. What we're left with is something that looks a lot like wooden splinters. And when we simulate, this is going to resemble a wood beam breaking apart. Give them active rigid bodies. And then go to Object, Rigid Body, Connect to connect them. And also don't forget to set the connection pattern to chain by distance. Select all of our constraints, go into one of them, and then make them breakable and enable collisions again, and copy all the settings to selected constraints. Then move everything to the wood collection. Now that you have your pre-made wood beam, we can copy it multiple times behind the wall to create some kind of wooden support structure behind the bricks. And keep in mind, all we're doing here is just adding more layers to make the effect more detailed and interesting. You can use all of these steps by themselves, but it looks best when you combine them. Now, if we select the ends of some of the wooden beams and make them animated instead of dynamic and simulate, we see that we have something that looks pretty good. But I want the wooden pieces to fly more forward, so I'm just gonna sheet and add in another sphere and give it a passive rigid body, scale it down and place it behind the wall so it forces them forward. This is a good example of how you can shape the physics of the scene just using basic tools. It doesn't have to be realistic, it just has to look good. And then when you're happy with the wood, just bake it all to keyframes. For the layer of plywood behind the wooden beams, we're gonna do the exact same thing that we did with the plaster, but this time we're gonna give the constraints a bit higher breaking threshold. This will make it so that the plywood sticks together more than the plaster did, which is what we want. Okay, now that we're happy with the simulation, let's texture it. The website I like to use for my textures is called Polyhaven. If you go to textures here, you can find hundreds of high quality 4K textures that are completely free to use. And what's even better than that is that we can just download the texture in a blend file and then append the material, so we don't even have to do any node work at all. So just find the textures that you want to use, then hit download right here. This will download a zip file with the blend file and the textures. So just extract it and put it anywhere you like. Then back in your blend scene, you can hit File, Append, and then find your downloaded blend file. Browse through the blend file until you find materials, and then select your material. So now the material has been appended to your scene, and you can use it with whatever object you want. So just head to the Material tab and select your material. To copy the material across all of your selected objects, hit Ctrl L and then select Link Materials. Now if you go to the UV editing view, you can see that all of our pieces are already unwrapped and ready to go. So just scale up the UV islands until your texture matches the size that you want for your scene. And when we play the animation, the material sticks nicely to the pieces. The bricks were a bit harder to get right, so just select all of them, then hit numpad 1 to go into front view. From there you can hit U and then project from view. Then you just have to scale the UV map until the seams line up, and you will have a realistic brick texture for your wall. This will take a while, but just try to get it right. Do the exact same thing with the wood and the plywood, and your scene will be textured. And I think this is really starting to take shape, but I missed some more details. So let's add a couple of particle systems that will simulate the smaller fragments from the explosion. Create a new collection and call it something like wood splinters. Then if we select parts of the fractured wood, we can use these as the particles for the particle system. So just grab a couple of different collections of splinters, and then we're gonna join them using Ctrl J. You can select them, then hit M to move them to your collection. Then we want to add a UV sphere. Go into edit mode and delete the lower half and scale it down a bit. This is going to be our particle emitter, so add a particle system to it. We can change the frame end to frame number 2 to have it emit all of the particles at once. We can add in a plane and give it a collision modifier to have the particles collide with the ground. You want to increase the friction and the damping of this. Then back in the particle system, we want to change the render as halo to render as collection, and then select the collection with the wood splinters. This will make it so that each particle in the particle system is a random object from the collection. The reason we did 3 different ones was to give it a bit of randomness. Check the rotation and dynamic and give it some angular velocity. You can play around with these settings until you get something that you like, but generally just try to make it look random. If we place the emitter object in the center of the explosion, we see that we get lots of small splinters. When we're done with the wood splinters, we want to add in some smaller particles from the plaster as well. So add in a torus this time, scale it down, subdivide it and displace it with a cloud texture. We want to animate this emitter object to grow bigger as the plaster crumbles. For these particles, we're just creating a new collection and adding in a couple of low resolution spheres that we displace a little bit and give them the plaster material. I suggest that you shade these ones smooth. And also you want to scale down the UV map so that the details are the correct scale. Give it some velocity in the direction of your explosion. Do the whole random rotation thing and then you're done. Alright, now let's make a couple of different smoke elements that we can place around the scene to bring it all together. Okay, so we're gonna open up a new Blender scene and delete the default cube, add in a sphere and increase the subdivisions. Then we wanna add in a displace modifier, give it a new texture and select clouds. This is going to be the object that emits the smoke, so we wanna make it pretty random. You can increase the strength of the displacement modifier right here. Then what we wanna do is hit object, quick effects and then quick smoke. This will give us a basic smoke domain that we can work with. So just scale it up to a pretty big size and then we want to enable initial velocity on the emitter object. Increase the resolution to something like 64 and change the emitter object from smoke to fire and smoke. We want to add a couple of keyframes to the emitter object so it goes from really small to quite big in a couple of frames. This will give the explosive effect of the smoke simulation. And when we're done with the basic shape of the explosion, we can shape it however we want using different force fields. I'm gonna use a turbulence field that I'm animating to be more turbulent in the beginning of the simulation and fade off as it progresses. Also you want to make sure to enable dissolve and put it to something like 35. This will make it so that the smoke dissolves with time. Keyframe the surface emission to go from 1.5 to 0 when you want the smoke to stop emitting. I'm actually animating the size of the cloud texture as well to give it more randomness. All these steps are optional, but you can play around with them and see whatever works best for you. Then when you think you're ready to bake, you want to change the cache type from replay to modular and also check is resumable. Activate noise and then bake the simulation. You want to make sure to hit both bake data and then when you're done hit bake noise as well. Alright, so now that it's done baking, we have something with great detail and we've shaped it just to our liking. In the output folder that you selected under your cache, you should now have an OpenVDB sequence that you can import to your original scene. So just Shift A, then hit Volume, Import OpenVDB. Then browse to your output folder and select all of these files, and then hit Import OpenVDB Volume. As you can see, Blender will now have imported your exact smoke simulation, and all we need to do now is add some shading to it. In the shading tab, change the density attribute to density_noise and then set the density to something pretty high. Add an attribute node. Under the name you write flame_noise. And then you connect the color to the emission strength. To set the color of the fire, add a black body node and connect the color to the emission color. I went with a temperature of 3000. To control the strength of the flames, we want to add in a math node that we set to multiply and then we can choose a value that fits the scene. And as you can see, this very simple node tree creates some pretty realistic results. I created 5 different smoke puffs using the same method that I just showed you. The only thing I changed was the shape and movement of the emission object and some of the settings with the force fields. In the future I may make another video where I go more in depth into making smoke simulations, but let's stick to the basics for now. But you can find all of these smoke elements for free on my Patreon, along with the blend file if you want to play around with it yourself. And I kept it open for everyone, so you don't even have to subscribe to my Patreon. Although I appreciate if you do. Just import all of your smoke elements and place them around the scene. Then I added in a ground plane that I textured with material from Polyhaven. Then I added in a displacement modifier to roughen up the surface. Finally, all we have to do is animate the camera and hit render. I want to thank you so much for watching this entire video, and also thank you for all of the great comments on the last one. I'm really working on improving this format, so if you have any suggestions on how I could improve the quality of these videos, please leave them in the comments below. And also thanks a lot to Egon Edman for providing the music for this video. I'll link his YouTube channel in the description below so you can check it out if you want to. Thanks again for watching, and see you in the next one.